Katherine Tinsley with Black Film and TV. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good. So my first question for you is, you were the director, you produced the film, and you also worked on the screenplay. How did this film evolve while you were working on it?
It pretty much evolves organically. Once you committed to a particular tone, this script was unique in the fact that we start off with about 70 pages. In my experience, most screenplays are overwritten. So what you want to do is get there on the day, and you usually make these films at about 110 pages. So this was just 70 pages, and by the time we finished, it was 140. In part, I do that because I like involving the actors, and in part, I do that because it saves me a lot of time having to rewrite and then rewrite and then rewrite. So you just go, you pretend you're making one film, and then by the time you finish it, you've made a completely different one.
And you've worked with Jason Statham before on your film Snatch. Like working with him again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite chummy with Jason, and we've known each other for 22 years or something now. And in part, it's a selfish decision, me choosing Jason, because he's just such a pleasure to work with. Also, I couldn't think of anyone else that could unfurl wrath in quite the same way he could.
And what was it like for you to be able to work with such a talented cast of people?
Yeah, great. I mean, you spend quite a lot of time talking about actors and who the appropriate actors should be for said project. And in the end, you choose them on two things: whether you think you're going to get on with them, and secondly, whether they can do the job in an appropriate fashion. It's usually that way around, actually, as well.
And what was the initial inspiration for Wrath of Man?
I saw a movie about 10 or 15 years ago, and it was a very small French movie that they made for about $1 million. I thought the genesis of the idea was pretty interesting, actually. So I thought it would just need to be flushed out, and I think if you flushed it out a bit more, then it will be a competitive commercial movie. So I set myself the goal of, in an afternoon, to see if I could complete the narrative.
And my final question for you is, what do you hope audiences will gain from watching Wrath of Man?
Entertainment. Yeah, the idea is to do, I mean, this genre, I haven't seen a film in this genre for some time, so that felt like it was fresh. But I hope we've mixed it up in a way that it feels new in that sense. And also it's a kind of mixture of genres, because it's not just a heist movie, it's a revenge heist movie.
So my first question for you is, you play H in this film. What was your preparation process for this role?
I try not to do too much, and that might sound lazy, but it's almost like the roadmap that Guy likes to sort of employ these days. If you learn something, and if you get too familiar with something, and then he removes it from the movie, you get all upset. So he said, don't get attached to anything. Just turn up with an open mind, and we'll work out what the dialogue is on the day, which is a nightmare for most actors.
And what was your process for developing kind of the psyche of H?
You have to have a good imagination, and I think that's required of any role that you play. You have to try and imagine the situation, what it would be like to lose a son. I mean, it's just unimaginable. So, I think it just requires a vivid sort of imagination to try and put yourself in the shoes of the character you're playing.
And you've worked with Guy previously on the film Snatch. What was it like being able to work with him again?
Yeah, he runs a really loose kind of set. He's always goofing around. We're doing silly things. We get distracted, and we have a good first AD that cracks the whip when we're playing chess for too long or doing things that we shouldn't.
And without giving away any spoilers, what was your favorite scene to film?
I've been told not to do spoilers. I think we've got a great cast, and I think the guys do such a great job throughout. And I always like the performance of the people that in and around me, and I just go, wow, some of the actors I never got to work with and saw some of their scenes. So, you know, when you're making a movie, you only get to see what you're doing and what is filmed in and around you. So when you see the finished product, you see all the great performances, and I think that is my favorite part of the movie.
And with working with a talented cast, what was it like being able to collaborate on this project with one another?
Yeah, I think it's you know, that's all part of the chemistry you have to try and find on the set. You know, find the rhythm, maybe come up with some new dialogue that we can throw in. I think that's one of the great things with Guy. We can be inventive, throw stuff in there, and he'll tell you if it's bad straight away. He doesn't pull punches.
And my final question for you is, what do you hope audiences will gain from seeing Wrath of Man?
I don't know. I like these kind of genre movies, and I think, you know, I'm a big fan of heist movies. I like revenge movies. I think they're all, you know, a visceral kind of motivating subject, and I think people will go for a great ride. It's a very personal kind of story about this one character. I think people they can feel and align with some of the turmoil that he's going through.